Hey everyone, I want to talk for a minute about electrolytes. What are electrolytes? Well, it's something that when you put it into water, it's going to dissociate into ions. What does that mean? Well, let's say sodium chloride. That's an electrolyte. I take it, I put it in water, and it's going to turn into sodium, and sodium on one hand and chloride on the other. So, sodium and chloride is an electrolyte. What isn't an electrolyte? Well, anything with a covalent bond. If something has an ionic bond, it is. If it has a covalent bond, it is not. So glucose. Glucose is not an electrolyte. What's the significance of being an electrolyte, of having electrolytes that dissociate into ions in water? Well, an electrolyte can carry a current, can transmit a current. And does that even matter in our bodies? Do we have currents? We do, right? Think of muscles and nerve transmission. Currents are really important, and ions are really important. It's very important, and it's important to have the right concentration. So speaking of concentration, I hope you saw a little bit of the video, at least of the video where I did an experiment where and added food coloring to different glasses. That one had 2 cups of water, one had 1 cup, and one had half a cup. And let's take a look at this. Here, I drew it out a little bit. I have 7 dots in each of these beakers, but they're filled with different amounts of water. All right. So is the concentration the same in all these? It's not, right? Excuse me. Because the amount of solvent is not the same. The solute is the same, but the solvent is not. So we have a different concentration, even though our solvent is the same. We have 7 orange dots in each of these. Does that make sense? So think about it. If you're overhydrated, what does that do to the concentration of electrolytes in the body? Or if you're dehydrated, what does that do to the concentration? Well, here the concentration's higher, right? Even though we have the same number of orange dots being the electrolytes, and here we have a more dilute concentration, a lower concentration. Does that make sense? All right, let me know if it does not. Electrolytes are very important in our body. It's important to have the correct concentration. And it's dependent not only on the amount, the number of electrolytes, but the right concentration also depends on having the right amount of solvent. So not being dehydrated or overhydrated, having an isotonic environment.